Okay.
Thank you. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Bamidele and I'm always happy to be here. And it's a different, exciting session here today. Today on my channel, I have the beautiful, proudly Dudu. Sumaya is here on my channel.
Hi
and it's different.
guys, it's your girl Proudly Dudu and I'm here with Bamidele on his channel. You know it's always a vibe when we're here. And yeah, today's video is going to be fun, so stick to the end of the video, guys.
Stick to the end of this video, watch it because there's interesting conversations. And if you have liked before on this channel, so subscribe, give a comment and let's know that you are enjoying what we're doing and that you love to be here. Today we're going to be having an interesting topic and I'm just going to be asking her to tell us about the topic and what we're going to be talking about today. So
today's topic is, what do you bring to the table? Or specifically, men ask this question, what do women bring to the table in a relationship? So we're going to be elaborating on this topic, like why do you even need to ask this type of question in the first place, stuff like that. So yeah,
so we got into this conversation before this video. There was a conversation on what you bring to the table, like and we have different opinions about bringing something to the table, the existence of a table at all. I mean, what is the table? People talk about breaking the table, what you bring to the table. So the table looks like the place where everybody just always wants to blame for whatever is going on. But the question is, should we even be bringing anything to the table?
Personally, I don't think that question should exist in the first place. I think that question in itself is very belittling to the woman, because anytime that question comes up, it's so that the man can project like, oh, I am more financially well off than you, so if I'm bringing the money, I'm bringing this and that, what can you do if I'm doing everything type vibe. That's the question.
But do you think that it is only guys that ask the question? Don't you think that there are girls who get to ask, like, so I mean, you want me, you want to be with me, so what are you bringing to the table? What's in it for me? Okay, maybe that's the female version of what are you bringing to the table.
Not necessarily. Like, women never ask. That's the thing. Like,
women ask, what's in it for me?
Yeah, women ask what's in it for me.
Is that not another version of what are you bringing to the table? Like,
well, I would say, but at the same time, like, the whole discourse generally
about whether what's in it for me or what do you bring to the table. Really?
Yes.
Any data?
No.
Okay, so you don't have statistics, so we're not sure. Okay, but I know that women also want to know what's in it for them.
If that question comes up when the relationship is going to be serious.
Okay.
Yes. Or like sometimes men approach certain women and you already know this is the lifestyle this woman has, you know. You see her out and about, you like her lifestyle. So obviously, you know, okay, if I'm going to be with this babe, I have to drop by, I have to do certain things. The woman doesn't need to ask. You already know this. So you asking yourself is weird. Like, why are you asking?
So for me, I think that when people ask, what do you bring to the table? One of the challenges is that they've not been able to see what you bring to the table. And that's why I find that insulting. If somebody's asking what you bring to the table, they probably have not seen what you bring to the table. If I teach, I mean, imagine being in a class and I'm supposed to teach for 45 minutes or an hour. And then I finish that 1 hour and then somebody says, so what were we supposed to learn today?
Yeah, like you'd not pass any message
so
across.
It's as good as saying, you've been here. And so if it is for a stranger, I think that it's easier for you to say, so what are you bringing to the table? But if it is for somebody that you have known for some time and then they've had like a relationship with you, asking what they bring to the table is...
It's the meaning, basically. That's what it is.
But should we bring something to the table?
Definitely. Like, I believe that relationships are transactional.
Did you say transactional?
Yeah, transactional.
Okay. I mean, when you mention transactional, people think money first.
No.
So by transactional, what do you mean?
Just like how, like, let's say the relationship between a mother and a child, you understand? Like, the mother's love, let's be real, is transactional. Because at the end of the day, they'll be like...
that's strange. I mean, I don't think so. Because maybe the word will not be transactional, but...
No, at the end of the day, it's give and take.
Okay, so people will accept that word faster than transactional.
Yeah, because that's transaction. You give, I take, you give.
In some cases, it is because of the inability to equate. So it means that we cannot measure and replicate. So with transactions, you are looking for some level of equation.
No. Sometimes it's even like you can give 99% and someone gives you 1%.
But is that give and take?
it is at the end of the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the thing is, it doesn't need to be equal or like like the way you say, like measured. But like at the end of the day, someone wants to receive something just because they are giving.
Yeah.
Like if a mother is giving love so much, when her child is grown to a certain extent, she would expect a certain level of care, love, support, like in our whole age.
When we're in our old age, we want that kids should support us. But you've had the argument about, oh no, but you don't owe anybody anything. People talking about how you don't owe anybody.
Yeah, that's like, of course, there are situations like that. So, but generally speaking, because we're generally speaking,
the question is the question of value. People talk about how valuable a person is. And there are people who bring nothing to the table.
Of course. There are people living their best life, because there are people you will meet that they just want you as a person in their life.
They are not bringing anything to the table.
Like, they don't need you to bring anything to the table.
Okay, so there are people, so that's one group. You're talking about people who don't need you to bring anything to the table.
Yeah, so like, but most times,
what about people who don't bring anything to the table? Because you speak about the people who expect you not to bring anything to the table, thinking that because they don't say it doesn't mean that you're not bringing anything to the table. So I probably am not asking you to bring anything to the table, but just because you're there for me might be what you're bringing to the table for me. And because you don't even know what my own needs are, you may not be able to immediately tell what bringing something to the table means for me.
That's also something that people, like, whenever they're like having this discussion, is communication. Like, although as a woman, I'll find that question offensive.
But don't you think that that's a realistic question?
But like, not necessarily asking me what do you bring.
How would you rather that a man asks? Okay, now that we are having this discussion, so that men who are watching can learn. Please don't ask what do you bring to the table. Just ask.
Yes. So you can just say, now that we're becoming a couple or a team. Yeah. So like, how do we go about this? Like, this is as a man or as the head of the home. This is what we're doing.
I thought the question was like more for
that question. No. For you to ask me that
question. Boy meets girl.
For you to ask
hello, babe. How are you? What are you bringing? Like, I want you to be on my team. I want you to be my chick, and I want to know what you're bringing to the table.
Don't ask me that question if you're not going to marry me. I'm so sorry. Why you ask me that question?
I think that the aim of that question is for us to be able to do some value proposition. So, for example, if I'm somebody who is a spendthrift, I'm looking for somebody who is able to manage resource. I meet somebody who I do not know much about their finance or how they manage their finance. So I'm asking them, what do they bring to the table? What kind of person are you, with A, B, or C?
We discussed earlier about how, like, when you've been with someone for a little while, you can tell like little things that you don't necessarily need to ask what you bring to the table. Do you understand? And like, let's say in the long run, like, let's say you and someone have been together for a little while, you can like tell little things that, and you be like, we need to have this discussion.
I think that what if they've not brought anything to the table, and then you now want to ask, so that you can also do your own cost benefit analysis, like, and with this person I really cannot tell, because people are in relationships, and sometimes when we have to do an evaluation of our relationships, we're now asking ourselves, what am I actually gaining from this?
Like I saw this thread on Twitter where like men were like, wait though, the amount of money I spend on my babe only on Valentine's Day to get like just a pair of singlets,
and Valentine's Day is actually coming, and people are going to be asking,
people will get singlets and
people are going to still be getting singlets and boxers. And whilst I don't have any problem with getting singlets and boxers, or not getting anything at all, however, I think that value is much more than material things.
Yes.
And people want to be able to associate their lives with some majors. I want to be able to say that if tomorrow I fall ill, I can trust that Dudu will be there. If tomorrow things don't work as planned, I have a voice of inspiration or motivation in this person. For example, as a person, I have colleagues who I've not spoken to in 10, 20 years, and then they just call me up somewhere in the middle of the day or night and then say, I need advice and I want frank advice on something. That person knows that if you're on a particular team, that you will be able to give honest advice. And I think that that's what people want to know when they say, what do you bring to the topic?
Yes, sure.
Now that we've spoken about what people should be asking, if you are not asking what people bring to the table, how then do you know, how can you assess or evaluate what people bring to the table?
Like I said, like from your interactions day 1 or date 1, day 2, you should already be able to tell, because you're getting to know someone. If you are not like mentally into this process, like that's when you now have to start asking this like
if you are asking what do you bring to the table, is it a red flag?
I feel like it is based on certain situations. Like
we should never ask what do you bring to the table.
You can if it's a long-term thing. If you see me, like if you're asking me as a person, you've asked me to be a girlfriend, so we're already dating, and I know. So
a random guy cannot meet you and say, "Hey girl, what do you bring to the table?"
You must be something is wrong with you to come and meet you and ask me. Okay, Dudu, what do you bring to my table?
But a girl can message you if you ask her to say, let's have lunch or let's go on a date, and then she can say, so what's in this for me?
The food. Because
I mean, if a girl asked me and I said the food, do you think that she'll feel insulted?
I don't think so, because that's such a witty response, first of all. And second of all, you're eating free food on the date, like, cause
women don't want to see like that. I'm sure that the girl folk will not be happy with you with what you just said. I mean,
no, because it's the reality of things.
So it's just free food chances. Date
no,
1, 2, 3, 4,
No, that's
5.
not what I'm saying.
This is
but
about
like
free
for
food.
the girl to ask what is in it for me.
Yes,
that's what's in it for you. You're getting to know someone, and you're eating good food too,
at whose expense?
In a nice environment. You also get to take nice pictures at the end too. Win-win. So I don't get why you will be upset, since you want to ask. Like, and women need to step up as well, because why are you asking what's in it for me when you're going on a date? Like, you don't know this person. This is one of the first times, or like you're just getting to know this person. I don't understand that movement at all. No, like women, and I feel like that's why men are so bold to say, what do you bring to the table? When like you're just meeting this person, you're saying, can you put this, can you do this, without the man's initiative. The man doesn't want, like, if for you now as a girl you say, oh okay, if the man's asking me out and he doesn't want to sort out my transport, I don't like that. You can stick to that. If like that's not his initiative, you already know, okay, this is one of the things I don't like, but let's see how this goes on. You already know at the back of your mind, I don't like this. Instead of now going bam, so you not pay for my Uber ride.
But sometimes you are not the one asking. Sometimes it's your friends. Sometimes it's your colleagues.
Like the girls' colleagues are asking.
Either on both sides of the divide. So people see you with someone, either a guy or a girl, and then they're finding out what part of your life do these people fit into. Because I think for us, bringing to the table suggests that there's a table.
Yes.
Suggests that there are some things already on the table.
Like you're sorting out, you're building.
You're building something, and the question you're asking is, for every time a new workman shows up on site, you're asking, is this the electrician? Is this the plumber? Is this the bricklayer? From that perspective, and then you're asking, now this new person that's popping in, what's their own role? Where do they fit in? And I'm wondering why that's a problem.
It is not a problem. Like I already said so from the get-go, it is not a problem, but it is in the stage of relationship you're asking that question. You can't ask me that question if you do not intend to marry me. It's very simple and short. Because now, let's say we're getting married, what am I bringing to the table? We're building a home together. I'm quite sure you want kids. We're building your own lineage. The children are not going to be, they're not going to bear my own surname. Do you know how tiring a pregnancy is?
Okay, so those are the things that the woman brings to the table.
Minus
but you have the people who are answering support, the question. Like, so that's what I'm saying. Those are the things I was saying about. So somebody says emotional support.
Yeah, exactly. I'm stating some things like some women will say.
That shows the validity of the question, isn't it?
Not necessarily. You already know this. That's what I'm saying. As a man that knows, this girl, I'm going to marry her. You already know this girl. For me to say I want to marry her, I have already seen certain qualities that I appreciate in her. So for you to now start asking such, like, it's just like someone asking such a sarcastic question. Sometimes it's quite off-putting. Like, bro, we've been together for how many years now? You're asking me this. Like, do you understand? And some women are very logical. They are not very emotional. They can be like, oh, okay, so what's the reason for this question? Why are we having this conversation? What if it's
not been seen? So you are talking about the fact that
that's what I'm saying. Like, some women can be like, okay, like women can be emotional about that question, and women can be like, okay, so what's the reason?
Answer this question.
Yes, so what's the reason? So now you can communicate and say, okay, like for the past few years that we've been together, I have not seen. Do you understand? I'm not seeing like something very tangible that I'm receiving from this relationship.
So what's our take home from this? What's the lesson from this conversation? We've had a lot of conversations, a lot of discussions about what do you bring to the table, whether you should ask, when you should ask, if you should ask, how you should ask. And so what will be the take home from this? And should I go first?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay, fine. So for me, my take home will be that before anybody asks you what you bring to the table, I beg of you, go back into your own house, pick biro and paper. If you are somebody who writes notes on your phone, ask yourself, what do I bring to the table? It's important for us to be able to access our own value and assess it as well. Let us know, what do I bring to the table? How important am I to this conversation, to this relationship, to this business, to this workplace? We learned about parasites, parasitism, leeches, so that you don't become a leech.
They will start calling you leeches before you know it now.
So before they start calling you a leech, find out, what do you bring to the table? Don't allow anybody to mess around with you and then ask you questions. You yourself may be able to know whether there's some level of symbiosis or whether there's some mutual contribution. If you think that there's no mutual contribution, let the person know where you are at the time and how you intend to contribute. I'm hopeful that men don't ask insulting questions. However, before you are asked any question, I beg you, be sure that you are not a parasite.
So, for me, I feel like men should also be cautious of the way they ask this question. Basically, if you want a very healthy relationship and you know that, okay, we are moving forward, I don't think you can necessarily escape this question.
So it's not the question, it's the how the question is asked.
Yeah, sometimes, because these questions come up in arguments, they come up as a way to insult the woman. It's more like they are diminishing her worth and what she's like contributing, or they don't see what she's contributing as something very like, how will I say, substantial. So if you know that this question is not coming from a place of disregard or disrespect, like there's a way you can ask a woman a question and she'll be reasonable about the answer instead of being
so ask emotional. What you're bringing to the table without asking what you're bringing to the table.
No, like you can ask what you're bringing to the table, but like not ask what you're bringing to the table.
Okay, that's fine, I get that.
You just be like, oh babe, so now that we're getting serious, so how are we going to go about, let's say, the home? Do you understand? How are we going about the bills? So when we're having children, who's going to stay home? Are we going to stay at home? Are we going to... Do you understand? These are contributions. These are communicating. These are conversations, rather, that you have. And, you know, you're contributing like that. So, yeah.
I do hope that you have learned something and that a conversation has started around you. The question as to what you bring to the table is a personal question. The intention is not to hurt or harm anybody. We should be able to think straightforward.
Sometimes it is.
Okay, well, I mean...
I want to say something. As a young woman, there are times where, like, you know, the person that's pursuing you is way older than you. And the question, you will not be asking, what are you bringing to the table? And you would wonder, like, you clearly know that I have not built my table. I'm still trying to sort out myself. You sorted yourself out, so why are you asking?
But that's to suggest that the only thing that you can bring to the table is monetary or financial. What if what you bring to the table is goodwill? What if what you bring to the table is a kind heart?
That's
so if I was doing this video and then you decided to say, okay, I'll stand behind the camera for you, I'll bring that to the table.
There are some people that when they are asked this type of question and they are younger, they would feel like emotional support is not enough.
Okay.
To that table, they will feel like other things that they bring to the table is not enough, because that person would word it in such a manner that
makes it sound like everything that you have done is trash.
Exactly. So that's what I'm trying to say. If you're younger, like if someone is asking you, emotional support too is something you can bring to the table.
Bring anything that you have to the table. Let them say that is not enough.
Say it
but
proudly, but this is what I bring to the table.
Fair enough.
So I
thank
hope
you so much.
Enjoyed this conversation.
I do hope that you had fun. Thank you so much, Proudly Dudu, for your time. It's nice a hot, sunny afternoon.
for this particular recording, and I can see that I'm sweating. But
feel free to let me know what you think about this video. Let me see your comments. Let me know and let us know what part of the video you really enjoyed. And importantly, if it will be nice, maybe you should also in the comment section write what you bring to the table. If you think that bringing something to the table is a factor, I mean,
like I'll just say, just comment what you enjoyed the most, and if what part of this conversation you could relate to the most. So yeah, please, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's one of a kind, and don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, put on your notification bell so you can be notified anytime.
So notification, like, share, comment, subscribe. Those are the things to do.